So this is our circuit diagram for our no load test. Okay, this is our machine. This is our machine. Okay, this is our machine, and we can see that it is no load, or S1, that is spring 1 and spring 2 is not connected here. There is no friction or load belt connected to brake drum, so it is called, we called as, it is a machine with no load, machine with no load. Okay, so this is a actual circuit diagram. We have three phases, Y and B. Okay, this is our three phases, and it's a neutral is provided here, and it is connected to switches, that is what we called as, it is as a, what's the name of that switches? Can you say, anybody? What's the name of that switch? What's the name of that switch? It's a TPST switch. Okay, then it's a fuse. We have an auto transformer that is shown here, and the supply is connected to a meter of rating 0.0 to 5 ampere moving iron type, then voltmeter. Okay, then it's connected to wattmeter 1, that's MCLV, then it's a wattmeter 2. Okay, so also rating is mentioned here, 500 volt 5 ampere UPF. Okay, this is also 500 volt 5 amps UPF. Then it is connected to a stator winding of our machine. Okay, this is a rotor, and the rotor is mechanically coupled with the brake drum. Okay, this, when we loaded the brake drum, then it starts to decrease the speed due to the load, but now we are performing this experiment on no load. Okay, so we are not applying any load to the brake drum. So in our nameplate reading, we can get the supply voltages, maximum current rating, then kW rating, our frequency range in which that machine work, and the maximum RPM that a machine can run, that is a rotation per minute. Okay, this is actually what's a nameplate reading. Okay, nameplate of a machine, you can simply say that nameplate of a machine. Okay, let me start the experiment in simulation method or in virtual method. Let's we move to that. Okay, so this is our actually our no load and block load test virtual video. Okay, in that nameplate details is mentioned here. This is a nameplate reading of that machine which they are performing. Okay, so actually we are performing what are the machines which are available to us. Okay, so I graphically represent the circuit which I shown earlier for the no load test. We can see the three-phase supply and TPST switch, auto transformer, voltmeter, ammeter. Okay, then we have two wattmeters connected, and it's our three-phase induction motor. It is mechanically coupled with our brake. Okay, next we are starting our procedure. So actually we have to connect the diagrams as shown in the figure. Okay, connect the diagrams or connect the circuits as shown in the diagram. Then we have an auto transformer, so keep the auto transformer value at the 0 position. Okay, keep the value of auto transformer at 0 position, it is mentioning there. Okay, then what we have to do next is we have to close the TPST switch. We can see that it is open in the last time. Okay, see, it is an open. We are now closing it. First procedure, we are closing the TPST switch. So the supply will start, and we have to vary the auto transformer, and we can see the load. We can see that the no load is connected to that brake drum. Okay, no load is connected to the brake drum, and the chain is separated, or the belt is separated from the brake drum, so there is no load is applied to the brake drum. We can say that the motor is freely running, or there is no load is applied to it. We can see that the motor is running freely, and by giving the rated voltage value, okay, see that our voltmeter and ammeter values are changing. By by getting that value, we can see that motor is running at its maximum value. Okay, so before that I have to say one more thing. We can say that we have two wattmeters. Okay, when one meter will show negative value, if any one of the wattmeters show negative readings, switch off the supply and interchange your pressure coil or current coil of that wattmeter, then start the experiment from the beginning. Okay, so we have to open our TPST switch, we have to switch off your supplies, and we have to interchange the connection. Then we have to start from the first, that is turn on the TPST switch, vary the auto transformer to get the rated voltage. Okay, this is a procedure what we have to do. Then we have to check whether the motor, there is no load is connected to the brake drum. Okay, then we can see that the motor is running very fast. Okay, motor is running very fast, and we have to mark the values. We have to mark the values. So what are the values we have to measure is voltmeter and ammeter reading, and two wattmeters reading. We have to tabulate it. Okay, so how the tabulation should be, I will show in detail for our record. So we can go to the how to measure that reading. So we have a tabulation right here. Okay, for no load and block load test and stator resistance measurement. So we have to mark the all values, VOC, IOC, W1, W2, WSC for the no load test. Okay, likewise for block loader test we have the same type of tabulation is here. We have to also find the stator resistance measurement. Okay, this is actually tabulation of our experiment. We will do the tabulation lately. So we are moving to the next part of our experiment. So next we are moving to the block rotor test. So after measuring the values, we are moving to the block rotor test. Then what we are doing, we are tightening our S1 and S2. So this is our virtual load. So we can see by changing the S1 and S2 value, we can see that the belt is get tightening. So we have to fix or we have to tie the S1 and S2, that is spring balance 1 and spring balance 2, that the motor's rotor, or that is a brake drum, should be completely locked. So there should be no rotation in the rotor. We are arresting the rotor rotation by increasing the load value. Then keep the TPST value to the minimum, sorry, that auto transformer value to the minimum. Then we are closing that TPST switch again, and by varying the auto transformer value, we are moving the readings to the rated value. We can see that whatever the rotor of the three-phase induction motor is running, that brake drum is locked. So there is no rotation of the rotor. We can simply say that it's no rotation. Okay, so we get the we get the rated current value and the voltage value W1 and W2. We have to tabulate that value. Actually the tabulation is already mentioned or already shown, okay, already shown to in the previous video, okay, and the times behind. Okay, actually this is the experimental setup for the no load and block loader test. Okay, then we have to find the equivalent circuit diagram also, that we are discussed in the PDF. Okay, so we can move to the PDF value, just a minute. So this is our PDF. Okay, so in this PDF we have to calculate the equivalent circuit. Okay, it should be shown. This is actually the diagram for the block loader. It's already we discussed. That's our breakdown applied. So the full load is applied here. The motor rotor not able to run. Okay, that is our block loader test. This is used to measure the stator resistance measurement. Okay, we have to measure these values too. We are connecting a 28 volt DC supply, and we have a switch, then 10 amps fuse, then variable 9 ohm and 8 variable rheostat. We have an ammeter and voltmeter. By using these values, we calculate the stator resistance. Okay, actually this is the total experiment setup. That's we have to take the readings. Or we can simply say that we mention or noted all the readings for our experiment. Then we are moving to the calculation part. Okay, for circle diagram, we have to calculate these so many values. Okay, and performance value, we can draw the circle diagram. Okay, then equivalent circuit parameters. Okay, we can calculate the equivalent parameters, and our final equivalent parameters is like this: equivalent circuit. Okay, performance at the rated speed from the equivalent circuit. So these are the steps we have to finish our experiment. So let me discuss one by one. Okay, actually we have performed 3 tasks. That one is we noted the value for the no load test, then we noted the value for block rotor, then we are also calculated the equivalent resistance. That means we are calculated the resistance value. So this is a procedure to draw the circle diagram. You can read it from your PDF materials which is shared to us. So for the circle diagram, we have to calculate the VOC. Okay, that's 400 volt, IOC, WOC, VSC, ISC. Okay, per phase value. Okay, VOC is equal to dash. That's what are the values we are getting. We have to substitute here. Then IOC, we can get the IOC divided by root 3. Okay, that's we can get the each value. RDC is also we calculated. R1, RO1, R-2. Okay, BG. That's all the values we are calculating to draw the circle diagram. We all know that how to draw the circle diagram. What are the parameters we need to draw the circle diagram? So we are calculating each and every one values in detail. Then we are calculating the performance of full load from the circle diagram. Okay, we measuring the PQ value, then full load current, full load power factor, rotor copper loss at full load, stator copper loss at full load, constant loss, rotor input at full load, torque at full load, maximum input at full load, efficiency at full load, slip at full load, speed at full load, starting torque, everything value. Okay, so from this circle diagram we get all these values. Okay, for how to draw the circle diagram, you refer your book. Okay, So we get the maximum torque, maximum output, maximum input. We are getting all the values from the tabulation, what we have find for the tabulation. Then these are the tabulation for the circle diagram. These are the model graph you have to draw from the what are the parameters we obtained or parameters values obtained. Okay, then this is equivalent circuit parameter. So this is our exact equivalent circuit in the top and the approximate equivalent circuit at the bottom. So we have to calculate R1, I1, X1, IC, RC, IM, XM, I dash 2, R dash 2, X dash 2, R dash L. R dash L is equal to R dash 2 into 1 minus S divided by S. So in the bottom one is approximate equivalent circuit. This is the values we have to find out. Okay, so for the R1, I1, X1 we are calculating all these values from this calculation. Okay, from that we can get the all this value. We are substituting and we getting the each value. Then we are draw the equivalent circuit and mark all the values we have got by this calculation. Actually this is our experiment. Okay, then performance at the rated speed from equivalent circuit, this is also we are calculating. We all need to substitute all the values what we obtain. Okay, this is the actual for machines lab for this experiment. Okay, let's show something in practical. So this is a auto transformer. Okay, so this is our auto transformer. It is fed supply to inside, and by varying the value it's going to the outside to the side, and the connections are connected to various meters. This is our motor, and the motor is when the S1 and S2 is tightened only, then motor get loaded. When it is not connected, when S1 and S2 is not tightened, the motors will be freely. First keep the auto transformer at 0 condition. Okay, then we are moving that value to the rated value. So we have to change the auto transformer to get the rated value. Okay, by seeing this we can see that S1 and S2 has no load. This value, two values showing 0. All the values we are moving that auto transformer from the maximum voltage to we are bringing down the values to the 0. After that by performing all the calculation we got the result that no load and block loader test are conducted on 3-phase squirrel cage induction motor. Equivalent circuit parameters are determined. Circle diagram was drawn. Performance of full load from equivalent circuit and circle diagram were determined. Performance characters were plotted from circle diagram. This is a wonderful experiment for your machines lab. I hope you got a very rough idea about this experiment. If the pandemic condition is over, we will surely check all the experiment, or we will practically do all the experiments in our machines lab. Try to cooperate in this situation. Thank you.